Morning, everybody. Morning. Welcome to this week's meeting of Essex Business Forum. As usual, my name's Aidan Squire. Hasn't changed since last time. And equally, what hasn't changed since last time? Suzanne Aldley for this. You can stand up at the beginning of the meeting. Could I ask them to do so now and introduce themselves?
Good morning, everybody. Jane Marion, Membership Coordinator. Chair.
Me? Morning all, Paul Corrigan, I'm your Social Secretary.
Right, and good morning, all of this. Today I'm Scott, the Meeting Secretary.
And I'm standing in for Ben. That's it, you may be seated. Thank you very much. Done. Right, so let's get the meeting underway. As always, the initial opening salvo is the performance review.
Yes, okay, so 2 weeks recorded on the sheet here. Great, lovely high scoring month. 4 members already topped 200 points on the mark in just 2 weeks, which is great. It's a third place tie, 210 points. Terry Malin, Stuart Smallcombe, well done to you both. 217 puts young Blake in second place, well done to him. 236, however, means Aidan Squire is still out in the lead. Congrats.
Right, next, the education slot. There must be somebody who's doing it.
I'm doing it. I'll have my moment to be like, no, yeah.
Go for it, Sarah.
Okay, everybody. So, my education slot this morning is about how we grow the group as a group effort. So, we've heard recently about how we've lost some members in the last year. There's obviously some gaps around the table. And I'm thinking about how we can all help to grow the group. It's not about numbers, not just about numbers, but it's about energy, referrals and opportunities. And it isn't just a problem for the directors, it's an issue for all of us. So because I'm a natural problem solver, when I see a little issue, I like to think about some solutions. And so one of the things that I thought that we could all do is intentional outreach. So not everybody, and I include myself in that, has got a normal kind of, a natural local network of people that I can invite to a place like this. So rather than me trying to find organic growth, I thought perhaps I could do some intentional outreach and target a list of people that we could recruit to come along as visitors and potential new members. So in order to do that, I'm really kind of recruiting people to help with it. A couple of people to start with, to identify sort of trades and the seats that we would particularly like to fill, but that's by no means kind of exclusive. And then try and find some list of local people that would potentially be amenable to coming here at 6 o'clock in the morning or 6:30. After we've done that, I think the other part of it is to put together some information about the group, about why people should join, about how friendly we are, how much cheaper we are than others, and really give our members in here the tools and the information to go out and extol the virtues of EBF and why it would be a great thing to join. So I'm sort of here on a recruitment drive really for a couple of people to get together to identify this list of people and then put together some stats and some other information in order for us all then to get together and really reach out to people that we could hopefully convince to come along and see how lovely we all are and join the group. So I think that's everything I was going to say. So if you are interested in helping, please let me know and we can perhaps fill our seats even more with some more lovely people. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Sarah, the inevitable truth, I'm afraid, is mathematical. The more seats we've got filled, the more referrals there are, the more business we get. So, reach out, I think, is what we'd like to do. Sarah, thank you, Sarah.
So we have got some of that resource
Yeah.
fairly freshly prepared.
I won't start from scratch, yeah. Well,
Perfect.
Good. Okay, and Terry is on holiday in the Maldives. His flight wasn't cancelled because he was flying direct. So in his absence, nothing to report on membership matters. And so we moved towards the second round. our winner last week was Mike of the Oscar. Mike, you have tried to get the theme going, which personally I don't ignore, but tell us your theme, please.
American or UK? Films and movies. If you can squeeze that in somehow or some way.
Films and babies.
Films and babies. Yeah. It's a very niche area we go for.
Right, I'm passing the business card box around and passing the blue card box, fill it up, get it round, and our adjudicator, as you know, is Mike. Our timekeeper is Stuart, and yeah, there you go. He's doing it. When you hear the second bell, wind up and sit down if you haven't finished already. Right, order of play. Mike will be first, and he's followed by Steve.
I set this challenge and then didn't really do anything about it, so I've had to make something up as well. So hopefully you can do better than I can. All right, Mike at Blackwater Media. So I want you to all think about that scene in 300. Like Gerald Butler's stood there wearing his little loincloth, whatever he is, monster of a man, screaming out to the crowd in front of him, holding his spear. Men want to be him, women want to probably be him as well, I don't know. That's the header video on your website. That's the really bold, confident statement when people turn up saying, look at me, here I am, this is how great I am. If you've got a website that you open it up and it's meek and mild and it's saying, hi guys, yeah, we're here as well, get in touch with me, we'll make something really strong and confident to go on the front of the page. It's Mike at Blackwater Media. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike. And next is Steve, followed by Paul Corrigan.
Right, good morning guys. Steve Chilton, Account Director from ERB Commercial Risks, corporate commercial insurance broker. We try to sort out insurance policies so your business doesn't go down like the Titanic. Essentially, it's a bit of a different week for me this week. I was actually sent an invitation from AXA to be one of 10 people as the leaders of insurance. So quite a nice week for me this week. So I'm feeling quite lucky about that. Was a little bit disappointed when I realised the date of the actual event, which is 1st of April. So I'm not sure if someone's trying to pull my leg or not. But yeah, I mean, essentially, if you've got any kind of issues with commercial insurance, please don't hesitate in reaching out. I'm here to help, I'm here to consult, and essentially, I'm not like the Wolf of Wall Street. I'm just here to consolidate and just kind of help you do. Thank you.
Paul, you're next, and we'll follow the line.
Morning all, Paul Corrigan from Solitaire Plumbing and Heating. As you know, we're doing the Hawken Mud Race, sponsoring it this year on the 26th of April. It'd be great if you can make it. Last year we supplied the cold water pre-showers, which ended up being their only showers, which was fun. This year we've doubled the size of pre-showers, they're massive now. And we've also designed some hot showers. It's been an absolute nightmare to design and come up with an idea of how we can get safely hot water. We've managed to rope Mr. Boschin to supply 3 LPG boilers. We've managed to rope Ernest Stones in. They're going to supply cheaper gas for us, LPG gas. We've managed to rope tech suppliers in who are going to help with the transport, get everything down there. So it's all good fun. So I haven't really got any film things apart from there might be a 6-headed shark in the water. That's it. But thanks for listening.
Clara, you're followed by Matt.
Hi, Clara Nelson, Down Mortgages and Financial Services. Well, I feel like it's Shawshank Redemption in the mortgage market at the moment. It has all gone kind of challenging, and even though potentially I'm innocent, it doesn't feel like it right now. Yeah, the rates have just gone sky high. I think a lot of it was because expectations were they're going to drop, and obviously that expectation is slightly changed by everything that's going on in the market at the moment. just trying to do my best for clients and try and lock in where I can in the future. But a lot of the lenders have pulled a lot of their rates, and last night when I was looking for one client, the first page of cheapest rates were all crackers, and I haven't seen that in a very, very long time. So yeah, it's all very sort of challenging at the moment. So I've just tried to lock in as many clients as I can for the future, and then hopefully everything will calm down and it will all kind of come back to where we want it. So yeah, if you need any help, it's a good time to have a conversation and work out where they're at all right now and try and do something proactively. So yeah, if I can help anyone, just reach out. Clara Downton, Downton Mortgages and Financial Services.
Thank you, Clara. Matt, you're followed by Blair.
Good morning everyone, Matt Barry from Blue Seraph. My favourite film is a film that not many people have watched. It's called The Power of One, with a very young Stephen Dorff from Morgan Freeman. And it's about the struggles of a young English boy growing up in Afrikaans territory in South Africa during the war. And that's where that analogy there ends. Actually, no, it doesn't. The Power of One. This is what we tell our clients. It's about one strategic mindset with their brand, one strategic approach to their marketing, and obviously one company to do it. Blue Seraph. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Blake, running. Followed by Sally.
Good morning, everyone. Right. If you want to feel like Iron Man and control your house like in the Minority Report, or if you want to talk about how Skynet will take over the world and dispel your fears of the Terminator taking over, my phone dropped. Come here, come and have a chat with me, and we can get your smart home set up better than a Home Alone trap. And in the words of my favourite film, you build it, they will come.
Thank you, Blake. Sally, you're followed by Catherine.
Good morning everyone, Sally Waters from Land Home Fragrances. Terry bought a diffuser from me from his office last week, and he said, oh, one of the ladies popped in and she gave me this brilliant tip to flip the reeds because it makes it smell more. So I just wanted to touch base with everyone to say what makes a luxury diffuser. And basically, is all, as well as the fragrance oils that we're mixing, it's to do with the reeds. So we use the most highly engineered reeds. They're fibre reeds, which have a constant capillary action. So they're constantly drawing the oils up from the vessels, and you don't need to flip them, which is really good because sometimes, if you flip a reed, you might splash it onto your highly polished lacquered bureau, and it will ruin it, and also ruin your worktops if they're not pure granite. So I just wanted to say that when you're buying a diffuser, look out for diffusers that do have engineered reeds because they are the luxury reeds, they are the quality ones. Rattan reeds are cheap, they clog, and if you buy a diffuser with rattan, it's going to be a cheap one that lasts 5 minutes. So, educational today. Sally Waters from Land Home Fragrances.
Thank you, Sally. Catherine, you're followed by Stuart.
Good morning, everyone. Catherine Foley, Institute Plus. So I've had a lovely week doing some proofreading of a law dissertation on how countries' constitutions affect their AI legislation. Despite my natural aversion to this subject, it's been thoroughly enjoyable, and any help you can give me finding other people who need their dissertations read would be fantastic. I've also been organising my Easter holiday sessions with students on the waiting list. And one parent has illustrated how parents are often clueless, that's the only thing I'm admitting, about what their children are doing. So I'm going to test your GCSE literature knowledge here. Can you correct this mistake? So on the info sheet that I asked parents to return to me, the dad had filled out the text being studied as Macbeth, Christmas Carol, Power and Conflict Poetry, and Spectacles. Spectacles. Do we know it?
No.
No? GCSE parents who've got still children doing GCSE, pretty sure Ben does this test. In spectacles. Sorry? No? And in spectacles. And in spectacles. And I think that illustrates why parents are better off getting a tutor to help their children.
It's also around with testicles, isn't it?
I'm glad you didn't write that.
Yeah. You always try to be helpful to your children, anyway. Stuart, you're next.
Good morning, everybody. Stuart from Urban Networks. I mentioned this morning that Terry has gone to the Maldives. And everyone goes, oh, that's nice. I go, oh God, I hope he's taken his SIM out of his phone. The Maldives is one place that absolutely terrifies me. It's very nice, it's a luxury, but an achievable holiday destination for a lot of people. And you just don't realise it's, in mobile terms, it's at the end of the earth. It's no different from going to Green. It's hugely expensive. I had one customer come back from a 2-week holiday with a £35,000 so it is terribly expensive. So what we like to do now is we need to know where they're going before they go, so we can buy the necessary blocks and bars. And sometimes, as I do with terraces, put it in a little bag and not put it back into the kitchen. That's me, Stuart from Everyday Networks. That's me, gone in 60%.
Thanks, Stuart. Sarah, you're next. Followed by Paul Dulieu.
Good morning, everybody. I had a little andram in my past that I don't talk about much, but I was the head of props for a little while. And so I have my props with me today, so I hope you can guess the film. I've bought my cooking ingredients and a lovely little grey mouse. Yeah. Thank you. Oh. Ratatouille, one of my daughter's favourites. So I don't know if not all of you have seen it, but Ratatouille is about a mouse or a rat who orchestrates, he's a cook, and he orchestrates in the kitchen behind the scenes. He's a creative genius. But without him doing it, nothing would happen. So he secretly controls a chef to make this amazing food because no one wants a rat in the kitchen. And businesses can be like busy kitchens. There's lots of moving parts, people with brilliant ideas, but not always the systems that hold it all together. So support from Orbital, Fractional COO can bring structure and organised momentum behind the scenes so that everything runs smoothly. I can help turn a chaotic kitchen into a well-run operation, and I will even sort pest control if you need it. That's Sarah Smith from Orbital Assistant Services.
Thank you, Sarah. That's great. I mean, Toby's absent.
Yes.
It's nice to have, well, a simile rather than perhaps all sense. Paul, you're next.
Good morning, everyone. Paul Dulieu from Essex Celebrants, helping people celebrate and commemorate life's important milestones. When I meet with people, whether it's for a funeral or for a wedding, I actually take on kind of many roles that you find in the making of film. And ultimately, what we're trying to create is something almost cinematographic, film-like on the day. So I take on the role of screenwriter. I write the script. I write the anything about it. I produce it. I direct it. I'm one of the supporting actors, and also help as a director of music. So if you know anybody that needs some help in actually helping tell a life story, a love story, a story of hope for the future, then please put them in touch. I'm good and can help people with baby namings, memorial ceremonies, and I'm also available for weddings and the funeral. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Paul. Leah, you're next.
Good morning, everyone. Leanne, Brooklyn Interiors. So, interior design is just like directing a film. It takes time, thoughtfulness, and planning. So, whether you want a home like the McAllisters in Home Alone, warm, classic, traditional family home, or a cosy cottage like the Holiday, or even the Addams family home, dark, dramatic, and full of antiques. Just remember, it takes time to create these homes. It's not just about the furniture, it's about the personality, the flow, and the feel. My clients are the stars of the show. So no guesswork, no costly mistakes, and just like films, if the planning isn't right, then it all goes to put. That's Leanne of Brooklyn Interiors.
Thank you, Leanne. Dave, you're next, followed by John Hammond.
Morning, everybody. Dave from Mercury Electrical. Couple of things this week. We was asked on Friday to start wiring out a wine store. It's roughly about half the size of this room, maybe a bit more. Just on the off chance the customer said, "Oh, we're creating like a wine cellar. Can you come and do it?" So we managed to respond to that on very quickly. And they were doing that starting yesterday. And also picked up a new client. They've got roughly about just over 100 properties which they're looking after. We've started to do some testing and stuff like that. this week. We've done one yesterday, we're doing another one tomorrow. So that's an ongoing thing. Pilot's out for 2. People to carry on. So if you want your cables made of safely by a qualified terminator, there's going to be more.
John, you're followed by Jen.
Good morning, everybody. As you should know by now, I'm John Hammond from JMX Technology. And we can install all your security needs, whether it's a CCTV system, an access control system, or even an intruder alarm. We can provide superior quality than anybody else. Why should you use it? Well, I've got skills. Skills I've acquired over a number of years. Skills of making a nightmare for criminals and the opposition. If you want a good system, you know where the skills are. That's John Hammond from JMX Technology and Private Technology Security.
Thanks, John. After John is Jane, and after Jane is Scott.
Hello, now I've got a whole load of newbies. I want you to shout out at the end how many, with all prize. So I'm a godmother, obviously, not a godfather, of course, and I have made a point, leading with my left foot, of taking each of my 10 godchildren, who are delights, not sinners, nor monsters, including the smallest one, up to afternoon tea in London, near Paddington. Always on sunny afternoons, not the dark nights. And there's the pianist playing in the corner, and the black narcissus, and the menu on the table. And they can have tea or cocoa to drink. And I say, it's a holiday, darling, so avatar. Use your jaws to enjoy those cakes, chocolat, or even a macaron for the French connection. Leave no trace, because this is a night to remember. But if you can't get to a grand hotel, we at the English Queen Tea Company will be chef for you and deliver the treats to you or even the girl next door. If that's the help you need, do call on us. How many?
21.
17.
22.
I got 21.
22.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
Scott.
One of the things I talk about when I do my job, I have to kind of get under the skin of the clients I'm working on. This week I've been working on with Matt for a company that hires out Boeing 747s. So throw a couple of billion in your pocket and you fancy a few of those. Do it. Airplane mode is it's been my week. Next week, however, thanks for setting up the rats and pests. I'm looking at cockroaches, bed bugs, and rats. So getting under the skin of your client is not something I always look forward to, but that's what I'll be doing next week.
I didn't get to see this theme. I set off when I finished last night. I was sort of sitting, shouting the way to go home. I'm tired and all to go to bed, so I never really got to do it. However, I had prepared something. What I've prepared is my recent client, a country park down in Cornwall, we act for. I'm helping with a mortgage. I'm helping to advise on club subscriptions and service charges, which might well go to court. So after I've dealt with the mortgage, he'll be producing lots of other places for me to sell. After we've finished the court case, we'll have charged a large bill for conducting the case. And in the meantime, sales of existing units continue. So that will be an ideal referral for me. If you can get me a referral of any sort of country park, holiday place where they let out units and own units, then get them to me. I say it's right from Paul. Paul.
Sorry, Paul Bailey from the There's a film called The Firm, which has Tom Cruise in it, and it's all to do with offshore tax invasion on an organised manner. Yesterday I saw a husband and wife in their 70s for the first time, and they were coming to me to talk about inheritance tax and capital gains tax. And it quickly became apparent they've got a buy-to-let property. He was putting the 50% share on his tax return, but she wasn't. So she never declared it to HMRC. Fortunately, it's not a lot of money, probably about £500 of tax per year they've been underpaying, but we can put that right very easily. We need to make a disclosure facility, a notification to HMRC, so employers are going to do returns. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Anyone who is not aware they're evading tax, but maybe with doubts in their mind. That's Paul Booth the code, minimise tax. That's what
Thank you, Paul. Right, that's the end of our second round. Mike.
That was amazingly great, everyone. I was not expecting this such effort. I've mentioned that crowbarring things in was good, and I think Clueless and Gone in 60 Seconds were very much crowbarred in at the last minute, so I appreciate that. Mentions to Sarah, bringing props, brilliant. Matt for recommending me a new film that I haven't seen before. Leanne, because I really love the idea of the Addams family having an interior designer that comes around. That's in my head now. So, two very similar ones in a sense, but Blake, you've got a lot of films mentioned there, but I suspect you probably just looked at AI to do it for you.
No, I literally just wrote it.
Did you? Oh, that's a bit bad. But on the premise that I think this person didn't use AI to do it, Jane, you put in so much effort there. Yeah. Brilliant. And nice.
Thank you very much, Mike, for the theme. Right for the day up, we've spoken right. Thank you really well done, Jane, for doing that. Right. Next up, as always, is the meeting secretary's report. Scott.
14 of these recorded so far this morning, so thank you for those. Don't forget to also complete them online, that's the important part. £13,000 worth of business recorded today on top of the £44,000 we've done in the previous 2 weeks, so it's all adding up quite nicely. There we go. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Jane, give us a pitch about your food and see when we can.
I will. So once a month after the breakfast meeting, we meet either outside or in the corner for a synergy meeting. There are other opportunities in the month as well. Paul runs one, Leanne runs one. This is what I do, and today it's about top tips for giving effective presentations. I thank you. See you in the back corner after.
Right. Standing in for Ben, but keep your eyes open for the order of play as far as doing the education slot and doing your 10 minutes. Today, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our speaker, Paul.
Morning, everyone. As you know, I'm Paul from Essex Celebrants. What many of you might not know is that this is actually quite a new chapter for me. Before becoming a celebrant, I spent many years working in business communications, public relations, and investor relations, helping companies tell their stories. And I still do that on a part-time basis. That work took me all over the place. I've worked across Europe, North and South America, and Africa, and even spent 7 years travelling backwards and forwards to the Democratic Republic of Congo, where the incident happened. Which, that whole thing that I've done, if ever you've tried explaining to a friend or family, and they said, what exactly is it you do? Well, it's hard to explain that whole communications thing. It's all really hard. But amongst other things during that time, I found myself teaching a group of people in French how to take photographs so the company can document progress on its remote sites in the rainforest. Now, despite my surname being French, my French is poor. My conversational French extends roughly to un billet, s'il vous plaît, l'addition, s'il vous plaît, and où est le syndicat d'initiative, which loosely translates as a beer please, a bill please, and where's the tourist information office. So explaining camera technique in the middle of the Congolese rainforest was an interesting experience. But in that career, I spoke at conferences, seminars, business presentations, or new business events. I help companies communicate the good news, deal with crises, raise money and comply with regulatory rules. I bring speeches, annual reports, sustainability reports, presentations, press releases, white papers, tender documents, websites, brochures and policies. And I've trained people to deal with the media, give presentations and interviews. So standing up in front of people and speaking isn't entirely new. It's standing in a room, helping a couple start their married life, or helping a family say goodbye to someone. That carries a whole new level of responsibility. Now, if I'm honest, becoming a celebrant was never really part of the career plan. When I met my careers teacher at school back in the 1980s, she didn't say, "Oh, one day you'll be writing the wedding ceremonies and standing next to the coffins for a living." What she actually said was, "You should become a landscape gardener." Somehow, celebrant is exactly where life has taken me. I have to say, it's one of the most meaningful things I've ever done. Although it does make networking slightly awkward when people ask, "So, Paul, what is it you exactly do?" And I say, "Well, I do funerals. Oh, I do weddings as well." But they're basically two of the most important days of someone's life. Just at very different ends of the emotion and the life experience spectrum. But what first got me into thinking about celibacy was actually attending funerals. Even before I started this career, I'd already been to around 40 funerals, mainly because I come from a massive family. And at some point during this, you start noticing things. You notice that some funerals are incredibly moving, and they really resonate. But more often than not, I would sit there thinking, there was so much more to this person than what we just heard. And that's disappointing because funerals matter enormously. For many families, it's the one moment where everyone comes together to remember someone properly. And that made me realise how important the whole ceremony and the words involved actually was. Because if the ceremony captures the person well, it can be incredibly powerful. It can help people celebrate life. It can help families begin the process of healing from their grief. And in that darkest hour, it can make a real difference. And that thought eventually led me to discover celibacy as a profession. So I went away, I did a residential training course because I wanted to do this properly. My whole life has been in a professional environment, and I wanted to be a celebrant that's very professional. And so Essex Celebrants was born. And when I went on that training course, I thought, right, it's all about funerals for me. I'm quite reflective by nature. I enjoy telling stories about people's lives. What I quickly realised is that celibacy actually sits at two very different moments in people's life. One of those is weddings. Weddings are joyful, hopeful occasions. Couples want a ceremony that reflects who they are. Often that means telling their love story, how they met, what makes them work as a couple, what they love about each other, what they loathe about each other, and sometimes including fun, funny, gently embarrassing moments, which is always very popular, yes. And the wonderful thing about a celebrant wedding is it can be completely personal, they can be traditional, they can be relaxed, they can take place pretty much anywhere. They can include music, children, readings, people playing the guitar, all of those aspects. And in my experience so far, children is the thing that puts the fear of God into me. I did a wedding last year and the couple said, right, we want our 3-year-old son to be the ring bearer. All was going beautifully until he decided it would be fun to start playing tennis. He haired off back down the aisle, the best man chased after him. Shortly afterwards, the groom chased after him. And for about 30 seconds, it was like a scene from an old episode of Benny Hill, this and that, weaving between people. But it was great because it actually brought real personality. He was an important part of the family dynamic for the couple. And it brought real personality and joy and a moment of kind of relaxed kind of softness. Good news is 3-year-olds get very bored very quickly, and so the running around soon stops. But then the other end of life are funerals, which of course are hugely different occasion. When I work with a family after someone has passed away, I'll normally spend a couple of hours with them just listening to stories about that person's life. The things they love, funny moments, the little quirks that made them who they are. And sometimes those conversations are extraordinary. You hear stories that even other family members have never heard before. and you sit there thinking, this is incredible. Everybody is different. Everybody has something special about them. And that's what makes it a real joy for me when I'm actually helping create a funeral service, because it's never the same thing. Everyone is very, very different. Everyone is personal, and everyone has an impact. And part of my job is helping show that to people in the room. One of the things I quickly realised in doing this job is, whether it's weddings or funerals or baby namings or whatever, it's a real privilege to be trusted with these special moments in people's lives. I'm invited into their lives at times when they're going through something very emotional. It could be deep joy, it could be just supreme love, it could be grief. And to be part of that is a huge privilege. On the funeral side of things, after one funeral recently, the family wrote to me afterwards and said that the ceremony had made such a difference on a really difficult day. It made it much more bearable. And a little while later, one of the man's friends contacted me to ask if he could have a copy of the script as well, because the ceremony really helped and wanted to keep the words to look back on in years to come. It's that sort of stuff, whether it's a wedding, whether it's a funeral, whether it's a baby naming, it's that ability to actually help people and actually create something truly unique and truly special, which is why I do this. I help people come together. I help people to remember. I help people celebrate and commemorate. And sometimes I help people begin a new chapter of their life. So that's how I ended up being a celebrant. From big, brash, loud corporate communications to helping mark love and loss of new beginnings. It certainly wasn't part of the original plan, but it's become one of the greatest privileges of my working life. And unlike gardening, I happen to be very good at
it. If I take my scenario, looking at Sarah and I as an example, I'm not a religious person at all. If Sarah were to pass and I had to arrange a religious funeral, I would have no idea at all. Yeah. And likewise, if I were to pass and Sarah to arrange a funeral, I wouldn't like religion to be any part of it. To be can you advise and help? How do you navigate that kind of theme or ability?
It's, when it comes to funerals, celebrant-led funeral, you start with a blank sheet of paper. It can be completely non-religious, it can be completely religious. There's nothing to stop me providing a funeral that is totally and utterly Catholic funeral service, for example. Obviously, for the people there of faith, I'm not religious either, but the words can be as religious or as unreligious. You can have hymns, you don't need to have hymns. You can have Bible readings, you can have prayers, you don't need to. You can have readings from other scriptures. You can have a combination of all of them. I think what a celebrant-led funeral does is it gives people that total control, and it allows you to have all the bits that would have mattered to the person who passed away. Quite often, people say, "Oh, that happened to question," because they learnt it. The mum or the father or whoever learnt it at Sunday school. Nothing else within that funeral service might be religious at all. But for those people, it's like, she would have liked that. And this is what it's all about. It's creating something that the person that's passed away would have wanted. So it's a blank sheet. Okay.
Do you ever work with the dying person who will give their wishes for what they want to have at their funeral?
Usually I will get appointed by the funeral arrangers, so they will try and match me. But actually, quite often, I've been given sheets. This is what they really wanted. Right. And it's fantastic because actually for the families, it takes away so much of the guesswork.
Yeah.
I did a funeral at the tail end of last year, and the lady knew she was going to die. She had terminal cancer, and she planned absolutely everything. Who would speak, the songs, the music that she came, the readings, and everything. So from the family's perspective, it took away any guesswork, any worries that they wouldn't get it right. And I have got a resource. It's going to go on the EBF website at some point, which is basically something you can pop in with and you can actually say to your family, this is what I would like. Because one of the biggest concerns that people have when they're organising a food family members is, have we got this right? Is this what they were wanting?
Yeah.
What Dad wanted music was.
Yes.
So I'm happy. I'll get back to another round because it really does help families in that grief process know that they're doing things as their loved one really wants to.
Yeah. Thank you.
What's been your favourite venue for a funeral or wedding, would you say?
I would actually say the chapel in William Road. Funeral, the crematoria are like this. I mean, you'll probably all been to a crematoria. A lot of them have been updated quite a lot, so they've actually got screens you can have pictures on, and I mean, the Basilica crematoria with a whole back wall that you can actually project images on. So it could be like this, an image of an empty football stadium or Hadley Castle or whatever. And it's lovely, and they're functional, and they're big and whatever. But I think that being in something old, something quite intimate is really quite special. But then again, it all comes down to personal preference.
Well, how far will you travel? Are you restricted when you can operate?
No. I mean, for weddings I've done, furthest I've been down is down to Hampshire. I would travel anywhere. I mean, obviously, within Essex, I would travel as much, of course. If somebody said to me, and I've actually had inquiries about doing a civil ceremony wedding in Ireland, I'm happy to do it. I mean, obviously, then my travel cost becomes part of it. But no, I mean, and what's important to me is the ability to tell the people, especially with funerals, is actually to be kind of a guiding hand to help us through what was a really good process. And it's not a very commercial attitude, but the ability to do that overcomes the money aspect of it. So, I'll travel anywhere, not expensive.
Paul, just with regard, you were talking about a questionnaire or something.
Yeah.
What form is that going to take?
I can bring copies out, or I can email it. It's a PDF, and it's just really a case of, when my time comes, this is what I'd like, and you can pop it in the envelope you will. You just say to the relative, it's in this drawer here. This is what I'd like, and it just takes out a lot of guesswork.
That would be useful for me. I do, as you know, I do quite a lot of wills, and I'd be happy to.
I'll get some copies printed.
We'll put it in the member's office.
Yeah.
It's just you don't need to fill it all in, but even things like, do you want money to go to a charity? Do you want people who are something in particular to the wedding, to the funeral? Do you want any religious elements? Do you not? Whatever. Even where do you want your ashes scattered? Some of this will be included in people's wills. The ashes scattered and whatever. But it's just it's the other stuff around it. It just makes it so much easier for remaining families when it comes to that time.
From my point of view, I think that's good because as far as anything you put in your will in relation to what you want doing there, executors don't have an obligation to follow that. They are entrusted to decide themselves what they want to do. So it's guidance only. So I don't normally put that into a will other than whether they want to be cremated or buried. But something like that would be useful, and I think that will be helpful. Paul, thank you much. Training for St. Peter's Ward. Right, let's start with the referral testimonials round with the naughty corner.
Yeah, really good. Thank you. Yeah, thanks again for being my brothers last year. But thanks. I think you should have also set up another business called Essex Celebrants. Yeah, a networking group for celebrants. Referral for John Hammond, which you know, the mayor. And thank you for Aidan. Good meeting.
Thank you, Paul.
me 2010 as well. I don't remember seeing them.
No.
But then I was in a big run those things.
Oh.
A referral for this is done actually. Catherine did proofreading for our presentation. Thank you very much for that. And for who remembers Dean Horban?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was I need a car charger. So I'll jump to that. Well, it's not this. We're in touch with Mag.
Yeah, I've seen it tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Doing more regards. Thank you.
I did the marathon in 97, 12 years ago. And I remember my friends being really, really impressed. And when I got the official photograph back of the lead crossing the line, there was a 96-year-old beating me. Actually, I've got another thank you to the ladies who have pulled it. I've got a thank you to the ladies who are next member and to another thank you. Excellent. And I've got a thank you to the ladies with Steve for Lennox. Sense came through, I think probably. But
Actually, that was for me. I prefer Lindsay to,
yeah. So there we are. So thank you. Also, just point from Steve. This week he told me with my cyber insurance, and he's been really, really clear and given me some really sound advice about, the levels of cover and everything else like that. So just brilliant. Thank you very much for your communication, transparency, and everything. And then just finally, a thank you for the referral really to EDF. I had a call, I had an email at the end of last week, and I had a call beginning of this week with a lady from Epping Forest Council who got my details from the EDF site. So hopefully, that's a good campaign project. So thank you. And also thank you. Sorry, it's a good 10 minutes. Very entranced and hypnotic and calming. I enjoyed it. So thank you. Over to see you.
I think it's had it. If I get I'll buy you so there's not getting.
I'll get a contract.
It's a bit of a fail for it. Thank you for your response. I have a referral from Matt Guppy for some banners for the shelves, and also a referral for Dave Roberts for the solar.
All right, yeah. Cheers.
Thank you.
It's got most easy one. I've got a referral with Paul. I talked about how to leak and shower, and just to say thanks to Matt for the support. Thank you.
Good 10 minutes, that's all. Sarah, I've got some ideas about this. I'm trying to put some over there afterwards. And I've got one for John, which you spoke to him yesterday, didn't you, about the keypads? Yeah.
Good throw.
I know. Maybe you're applying.
Thanks for doing 10 minutes, Paul. It was lovely. It's really good to hear about all of the things that you like to do. But interestingly, a couple of conversations I've had this week with people who say, I'm going to tell my kids I don't want anything, save the money, save £6 grand and just go on holiday. But I think someone made the point that the funeral's for the living, actually, not for the dead. And it's, we've all been there for the memories of people that we want to share and get everybody together that love that person. Anyway, I had a one-to-one with Sally. Have a lovely week. See you next week. Thank you very much.
Great. Great 2 minutes, Paul, but I'm going to diss what I said to Aidan last week. You're one person in the script I hope I never have to use. One, because I'm married, and one, because I don't want to die with wording in this room.
Your kids won't get married.
Yeah, that's hopefully another 10 years away yet. But yeah, well, I'm hoping it's another 10 years. I ain't got money for that. Yeah, great meeting.
As always, as you would expect, fantastic presentation. Thank you very much indeed. I've got thank you to the money for ex-member Nick Cook, who good to see, and a referral, quite a nice juicy one for Blake. I've not put the paperwork in yet. It's lots and lots of ration packs for 6 teenagers to go and do wild camping for a week. We'll have a look in due course. Good meeting. Thank you very much.
Very good. Very good 10 minutes, Paul. You'd only just started your journey when we got together and thank you very much for all of the help you gave me at the time. It was very difficult, and you were a rock. So yeah, I can strongly recommend it. Kieran, Paul, who
Kieran Kitty, ex-member.
Oh!
No, sorry, Stubbo. No, you're Stubbo.
Oh,
Neil Stubbinson, you are. Not Kieran.
So yeah, it's in the referral.
Yeah, it's two on there, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, excellent. Well done, Paul.
Yeah, that was great. Really calming. Was she standing there with a folder as well? Yeah, I thought I was in church actually. And Sarah did great. Well, great. I've got to thank you for the money to Stu. Paid up super quick. Thank you very much. Have a lovely weekend.
Yeah, great meeting, great 10 minutes, and I quite agree what Sarah said, that the funerals were for the living, for them to deal with when he's done right. When he's done badly, it's devastating. Yeah. I will bear you in mind, hopefully not soon.
I thought that was going to go over the story then. No. That's fantastic, Paul. Really enjoyed it, and yeah, it's a very calm, chilled voice. It's always a pleasure. What else have we got? Just wanted to say, Matt, I have got your leaflets that have come through. They look fantastic. Got a couple of little photo changes, but I'll get in touch about that. But yeah, it looks really good. Got Paul C. Mentioned referral to you. I don't know if she got in touch, but it was from another networking group actually. And I was like, just speak to him.
Thanks very much.
And just getting in advance to Paul, Scott and Matt, we've got our little first training walk this weekend.
Great. It's like Sarah, thanks for that. And great 10 minutes, Paul. Really interesting. I can imagine you at any done funeral, wedding, and it would be really sort of mesmerising to hear you. And people will listen, I think, because of the way you speak. So yeah, it's really good. Great meeting. See you next week.
Right, 10 minutes, Paul. I think if you ever give up being a celebrant, you should become a Radio 2 DJ because you just got the perfect radio voice. Doing the podcast with you, you know, because you have just got a really naturally soothing, kind of relaxing voice. So I have actually got a referral for you.
Oh,
so there you go. It's a friend of mine whose aunt's just died, but it is in Wiltshire, hence my question. And I had a one-to-one with Shannon on Saturday. There's something else on it, there's the synergy this day. So have a good week, everyone, and see you next week.
Thank you very much. Yes, I had the one-to-one that you guys had with you. Mike, can I grab 2 minutes with you afterwards? And Blake, I might have something that I could get you to help me with, if that's okay. So I'll have a quick chat with you as well afterwards. I think I've got a few thank you for the monies that I need to put through, so I will get those through. So my apologies if you haven't got one yet and you owed one. It's been quite the month so far. Yeah, great Ed slot. Really great to kind of be starting to think about other ways of doing things. Yeah, funerals. I went to one recently and it was awful, to put it mildly. It was done by a vicar in a church, and he really did his thing. It was nothing to do with the person, and they had, some really nice sort of eulogy and things like that. So you did at least get something, but everything the priest did felt nothing to do with him. It just felt wrong. So so important to embody the person. So brilliant. But yeah, that's all from my side. Great to see everyone, and see you all next week.
Lovely. Well done, Paul. We knew we were in safe hands. Very good and reassuring. I enjoyed that. Sarah, with food for thought to start, I feel much happier knowing that you're on the flight. That's a very good thing. And Paul, if I could grab you just for a minute after, that would be brilliant. Thank you. And Leanne, happy to put you in touch with that estate agent. They're absolutely huge, and they've not lived in this area. I think they're abroad as well, but yes. So I hope that works out. Thank you.
Actually, that's Wrong ones. I'm an idiot. That's last week's. That's the referral reality check. You don't do that. Oh. And any one of those. That's you choose.
Oh,
From Dave to John.
hey,
Dave. Oh shit, I forgot to be. White, red, or chocolate?
Right. Thank you.
Right, Paul, thank you very much for your 10 minutes. Thank you for doing the running and thank you for drawing.
Thank you.
Actually, whilst you were talking, Sarah started drinking out of that bottle and she poured white liquid in there.
Yeah.
I thought she was having a vodka whilst you were. Well done.
Wait until I'll drink it and it's tiny. It's gin, Jesus.
Right. As the sun shines, as we've had a great meeting, as we're going out into the world, before we do, and before we all go to James' meeting, anybody got any announcements that they wish to make to the meeting?
I don't know if you're aware or you saw the post that was on WhatsApp, Calcott Farm Festival. I don't know who might be interested in coming along and attending that. I've got my family tickets. Should be just a fun Sunday afternoon here, getting quietly drunk from the brewery and having a bit of a get together. Tickets are £27 on the early bird. If you fancy it, just it might be a nice social.
Anybody else? Before I go, before I send you on your way, there was sort of a request that I do some Winnie the Pooh readings at some stage. So I thought to oblige, I will send you on your way with a short poem from the House of Blue Corn. Cobblestone, cobblestone, cobblestone pie. A fly can't bird, as a bird can fly. Ask me a question and I'll reply. Cobblestone, cobblestone, cobblestone pie. On your way.